Hi there, I'm Kelly with the Louisville Free Public Library, and for today's craft and chat we are going to make these cool 3D yarn ball sculptures. These look cool just on their own or grouped in a centerpiece. You can put string on them, hang them from a holiday tree, or fill them with candy. Whatever you decide to do is going to be awesome. Let's get started. The first step to creating this 3D yarn ball craft is to inflate your balloon. You want to stretch it out first to make it a little easier. And as you can see, I've inflated this balloon off camera. The next step we're going to do is to create the mixture of glue and water. We'll take about half of a bottle of regular school glue or craft glue, either white or clear, doesn't matter. Put it in your pie pan and then mix with about a couple of tablespoons of warm water. It doesn't have to be warm, but it mixes in with the glue a little bit easier if it is warm. Then you're going to take your stir stick and mix up the glue and water mixture until it's a consistent consistency. You don't want any lumps of glue or pools of water. There's no magic formula for how thick to make it. It just needs to be thinner than glue and thicker than water. The purpose of this is to saturate the yarn so that when it dries it will make the yarn stiff and hold the shape of the balloon. And here we've got the glue and water well mixed, and I'm going to put a newspaper down just to protect the surfaces nearby because this can be a very messy craft with lots of glue splashes. Next, you're going to find an end of the yarn and make sure that you keep track of that end, and then pull a few feet of yarn out of the yarn ball. If you pull from the middle of the ball, then the ball of yarn will not move around as you continue pulling yarn out of it, whereas if you pull from the outside, the ball will wiggle around as you're pulling out yarn. And then you're going to place the yarn in the glue mixture and stir it around with a stir stick to get it completely saturated in the glue mixture. Keeping track of that end. You don't want to lose the end because it's a very gloopy procedure to try to find it again. I'm putting a few more feet of yarn here and then getting that end wet that you've kept track of. Pulling that end out, and then I'm going to tie the end around the stem of the balloon. And this gives you an anchor. I'm squeezing out the glue, the excess glue, tying that saturated yarn thread around the stem of the balloon and then wrapping around the balloon. While you do so, gently squeeze the yarn to squeeze out any excess glue. You want enough that it will hold its shape, but not so much that the balloon is dripping with glue. You want to turn the balloon and hold the yarn still, or hold the balloon and turn the yarn around it, whichever way you like, whatever way is most comfortable. The idea is to wrap the yarn around the balloon as many times as you want to get your desired aesthetic effect. If you run out of yarn that is saturated in glue, you're just going to grab a few more feet of the yarn and then again stir it with the stir stick to get it completely saturated. As you see I'm doing here, I've run out of wet yarn, so I'm putting a few more feet in the dish. I'm going to stir it around with the stir stick until it's saturated, and then I'll keep wrapping it around the balloon. the while squeezing the excess glue out of the yarn. You can make this an open weave or a very dense weave, however it looks best to you. You'll just want to make sure that you have enough threads close enough together that they will hold their shape after the glue has dried. And normally I would continue going, but that's about as much as you probably need for instruction on this craft. You can make yours as densely woven or as open as you like. And here's where you want that disposable cup. You're going to place the balloon on the disposable cup to dry for 24 hours. Less than 24 hours and the glue might not be dry, but more than 24 hours and it'll stick to the balloon so well that the balloon becomes difficult to separate from the yarn. Some other ideas you can do with these 3D yarn balls: add glitter like I've done on this one here. And of course you can do them in other colors as well. This one's a lot more egg-shaped in blue. And they are such a versatile craft, you can really use them for any holiday or just neutral as a centerpiece for anything. You'll want to pop the balloon after it's dried for 24 hours, and hope you enjoy your craft. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you at next month's Craft and Chat.